Now, I know some of y'all are listening to this podcast with the intention of falling asleep. Don't. Because while some of you function on caffeine, others run on the pure condensed essence of hatred. You're not a hater? Don't worry, I am. Welcome to After Hours of crunching my face and waving my hands in disapproval. You know the one. You know the move. And if you don't, then I trust that you have a great imagination. So that's your compliment for today. And before we begin, I just want to quickly say thank you all so much for your support for this podcast so far. The feedback has been incredible. Starting this out, I genuinely thought that we'd have like 5 listeners because let's be honest, the podcast market is way oversaturated. Everyone and their mama got a podcast. But you all came through. And so shout out to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. How are you doing, by the way? Honestly, that's always a tough question to navigate. Let me make it easier for you then. We'll have different tiers. So, I want you to pause whatever you're doing right now. Close your eyes. No, wait. If you're driving, then do what Cher said on Twitter and keep your eyes open, bitch. Sometimes in the night, I think about that tweet and I keep my eyes open. Keeping an eye out for Selena. Anyway, the tiers. Tier 1 is that you recently debuted at number 1 on the Hot 100. I don't think that needs any more explanation. Moving on. Tier 2 is that you debuted at number 8, which is still fine, but it's not number 1. So currently I'm in Tier 2 right now. Tier 3 is bubbling under the Hot 100, meaning you've been through it. Right? You have been through it, but a comeback is also in the works. The tides are soon changing for you. Last but not least, we have Tier 4, which is the worst tier, meaning you completely flopped. No sales, no numbers, no nothing. It's absolute trenches right now. So yeah, think about a number and send those vibrations my way. Let's have a moment of silence as we receive signals from the future. I got you. I certainly hope that not a lot of us is in Tier 4 right now, but if you are, then all I can say is save those stories for a book deal. Or you can always just start a podcast. There's always a way to milk your pains. And as you can see by today's title, we're finally talking about the bane of my existence, which is the Reputation album. Now, this album, plus the entire shenanigans surrounding it at the time, they were so camp. Also, this episode should have been released last week, but I just forgot. Last week would have been on time for the 5-year anniversary of the Reputation release. And it's so embarrassing that I thought every 2 weeks meant that there would be like 2 weeks sandwiched in between episodes. But turns out I was just wrong. But anyway, before you discredit me as just another hater, consider this. You didn't stan Taylor the way I stan Taylor. I used to be such a fan. I used to be the fan. My first ever Zing Me account, which I think is a ripoff of MySpace for the Vietnamese girlies, I had Taylor as my profile picture. That woman is stunning. Stunning. So yeah, it's important to note that my first social media account ever had Taylor as the profile pic. And it's also important to note that I was a fan all up until her Red era. I was such a fan, in fact, that in middle school, I remember I carved her name on a table, using the sharp end of a compass? Listen. Vandalism, peak stan behavior. Don't even say it. And even back then, I knew she had haters out there, but I was like, you know what? Amongst the naysayers, I will be the slay sayer. But no, everything has changed. Everything has changed. All I know is you said hello. The dust off your highest hopes. All I know is the boring rain. And everything has changed. Still got it. Still got it. Now I don't even know how many albums she's released since that time. Let's see, off the top of my head, there's Reputation, of course. There's 1989. There's Evermore. And also another Woodsy Girl album I can't remember right now. And yeah, there's also Midnights as well. I actually never heard a lick of the two Woodsy Girl albums, so they might be more buried in her discography, but dang, this girl really has longevity. I'm not even sure how many albums she has out by now, but you know, with how long Taylor has been out, no, wait. Taylor's not gay. She's not gay, you guys. The Gaylors are going to be so mad. They're going to be so mad. What I mean is, for as long as she has been an artist, for her to have the entire Midnights album charted on the top 10 of the Hot 100, breaking multiple records, is insane. Who's doing it like her? Wait, no, that's not the right question considering my stance. Who's doing it like her fans? Because her fans will hype up and buy absolutely anything. And we'll get to that. But let me just pull up this one screenshot example from the Taylor Swift subreddit. Let me look on my phone. Go, hold on. And real quick, also, let me change my accent so you guys are clear this isn't me talking, because I wouldn't want to be caught dead saying something like this. It's kind of embarrassing, honestly. So this is the comment. Here it goes. Please don't hate me, y'all, but like, I'm glad tickets aren't cheap. It filters out the locals and you're getting a stadium of die-hard Swifties. It's Essex, for some reason, making the concert more fun, but also, now it's London, increasing your likelihood of getting tickets. This person has an account on OnlyClowns because they're just calling people who can't afford tickets locals. And also essentially saying that the only way that you can prove yourself to be a dedicated fan is by way of huge personal financial investments. Also, I saw another post on the Taylor Swift subreddit, trenches in there, trenches, don't even. There's this post pre-Black Friday, I think about even a month prior to Black Friday, saying, you know, don't spend your money on Black Friday because you need to save all your money for Taylor Swift. And of course, this person has the Reputation album as their flair on Reddit. And I'm not just saying it's just Taylor fans that are out here with this mindset and this behavior. It's actually these types of stans in all fandoms keeping these celebrities afloat. I'm serious though. By the way, with that said, which rising pop stars do you predict to have this type of longevity? Like, which pop stars do you see to still remain in the conversation years to come? Because my best guess right now, also like kind of the easiest guess, is Doja Cat. She just has the secret sauce to hit, you guys. Almost every single song off the Planet Her album you hear everywhere, and they're bops too. There's also Billie Eilish, who's kind of in the same realm in terms of being a hit-making machine. But this is the case where I very much understand the appeal, but I also very much can't get into her as a person. Not that I hate her, but I feel like if someone like that was around my social circle, I would avoid them. I think we all have that one person who everybody likes, but you just sense that there's something off about this person, so it's just best to stay away. Yeah, that's Billie Eilish to me. And then there's Gaga. And I know I'm heavily biased, but like, Gaga is here to stay, girls, and for real. And maybe she's not gonna top the charts with her dance pop anymore, and dare I even say that her peak has passed her? But she's acting, she is going classic and singing jazz, and I think she will still remain a household name in the future. Trust. I'm not gonna drag this out for long anymore, so I think my fourth and final prediction is Harry Styles. But I won't elaborate on this because I've promised myself not to dwell in matters that might worsen my mental health. So anyway, back to Miss Tay-Tay, Miss Man. She has been topping charts for a while now. But has she matured with her music? That is the question I'm earnestly asking all Swifties. Swifties, please come to her defense down below, or actually no, this is on a YouTube channel. Please go into the basement that they run Pitchfork out of and collapse it. Repetition got a rating of 6.5 out of 10. It's like she was so dramatic, and for what? And we're not even gonna discuss all the drama behind this album's stale topic. Very stale by now. We don't care. What I actually care about, what I actually lose sleep about, is the lyrics. And I'm not even being hyperbolic. I do actually lose sleep to stuff like this. If you guys remember a few months back, I was so distressed that I couldn't even fall asleep just because Justin Bieber said, yeah, you got that yummy yum, that yummy yum, that yummy yum, and got a Grammy nomination. Hades give on that one. So yeah, I have lost sleep thinking about how, despite this album supposed to be giving villain era, badass, I said what I said type of vibes, it also gives off the same energy as those movie cliches where a character is trying to come up with ideas but they end up just scribbling nothing onto pieces of paper, then crumbling them up and tossing them to the side, making a huge pile of paper. Yeah, that's Reputation to me. Let me explain. I think we should start with the cover of this album. Let's start from the beginning. So picture this. Tay-Tay is going dark. It's black and white. It's a rebirth. She's reinventing herself. She's doing it all to escape the shackles of her sweet country girl image. Which is why she's wearing a very comfy sweater. To her right, headlines all buzzing her name. She's scandalous. Which is why her very comfy sweater is off to the shoulder on one side. You see what I mean? It is hard to take this album seriously. I mean, I'm sure she was smart with all her Easter eggs and shady references, as is often the case with Taylor Swift songs and lyrics, but come on now. And if we really want to talk lyrics, Tay-Tay Mastermind actually offered us some really nice insights into what would happen if we ever dare cross her in this album. Some of her Tay Voodoo, if you will. And before you come for me for calling her all these names, I just want to say this is not even slander, okay? I'm literally just saying it just like her actual fans. So, the heart of this album is the lead single, Look What You Made Me Do. And when I say this is camp, this song is diabolical. I very much remember the moment I heard the chorus for the first time because I was like, let me understand. Let me understand, girl, what is this? It doesn't even flow. It's like she's tripping on her words trying to fill out this beat. Here, actually, let me attempt to read out the lyrics. It's been a while since I last listened to this song. I last listened to this song unwillingly in a clothing store. Let me just prove my point. Ooh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Look what you just made me ooh. It's like she's stuttering. And that's not all. I am not done. Oh, I am not done. The song. The whole time she's telling us to look what we made her do. And so you may be asking, so what'd she do, right? Valid question. The answer is nothing. Nothing! If you really listen to the whole song, she literally never tells us. I love this song. The closest things that we got to any sort of action whatsoever are these two lines. I've got a list of names and yours is in red underline. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to read this. I've got a list of names and yours is in red underlined. I check it once, then I check it twice. Ooh. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did it. And the second line is like, the world moves on, another day, another drama. Another day, another drama. But not for me, not for me. All I think about is karma. Okay. So basically all she really did was to cross out some names with a red pen twice? And prey on other people's downfalls? She's just like us for real. See, this is what I'm saying, right? She's only as intimidating as an anonymous letter made out of magazine cutouts. You know, when the serial killer wants to say, you're next, but they're shy, so they need to hide their handwriting and such. I imagine a songwriting process being similar to the serial killer rubbing his hands together, laughing like, hey, while meticulously cutting each letter out of his pop magazine collection. That's Reputation to me. The absolute mischief and villainy displayed in Reputation can only be matched by some guy in a lab coat fighting a platypus trying to take over the tri-state area. And her platypus is good merch design. But we're not going to talk about that, otherwise we'd be here all day. And finally, I am thinking that this episode wouldn't be complete without a little bit of a personal expose. Listen, I'm a hypocrite. I used to do cringy stuff thinking I'm evil too, but at least, right? All that stopped in middle school, okay? Who can look back to their middle school days and genuinely say that you're proud of anything and everything you ever did? Crickets. I hear nothing. Exactly. I used to make voodoo dolls. And this is so out of pocket, but like, yeah. I used to make voodoo dolls. In middle school, I made these voodoo dolls for my arch enemies out of the, you know, those fancy mooncake boxes with like satin lining fabric on the inside? I basically gutted the box to get the fabric, right? Wrapped it around some balls of paper, wrote a few names on it, and then took some needles to the doll. I check it once, then I check it twice. And I think that just brought two things. One, balance to the argument, and two, an ending to this episode. I think I cleared the plate on this one. Hopefully you've enjoyed this just as much as I suffered making it. Because this is actually the second time I've had to record this episode, making it a little bit different than the first one, but honestly, I kind of prefer this version. Maybe I should always record an episode twice, I don't know. Or maybe it's Tay Voodoo that prevented me from releasing this episode. Tay Voodoo is out here making my life trenches. She knows I'm saying all this stuff about her. Anyway, this is the end. So for now, goodbye and good night. Tay Voodoo.